So today, rather than drag Brock Feeney down here, who did a beautiful job, I've got to say, looking at his data, if I could define a word for that lap, smooth. So I wanted to grab Chaz Mostert, my mate in here, because I really wanted to drag you down in here, Chaz. You missed out on the shootout, I think, at Tasmania and Perth. Back in today, first of all, I didn't realise you were crook yesterday. You okay now?
Yeah, night and day better today. So yeah, those short sprint races yesterday were really tough. So like I said on the in-lap, credit to my wife, she had 2 kids to look after last night. So feeling heaps better today. And if there's a round you don't want to be crook at, it's here in this heat. So I'm glad I'm better today for the longer race, that's for sure. Okay,
so this session is called How Pole Was Won or Lost. And I thought today be interesting to hear from you. You didn't get pole, you're 9th after the shootout, but let's have a bit of a look and a think about where it was. I mean, I've seen where it was, and without putting too fine a point on it, Chaz, when I look at Brock's lap, you put your foot on the throttle at a lot of places where he did, but his car, I've got to say, is smooth. You're working harder at the wheel.
Yeah, for sure. I think just to sum up in general what it takes to get pole in this game and how tight the margins are, it's a confidence sport. This game is week in, week out. The more you are confident after round, and you get wins, you get podiums, you get more poles, your confidence as a driver builds more and more. And when you don't ever feel on top of your game a little bit and you're a little bit behind, you take a little bit more risk with your car, you're trying to find a bit more of a sweet window, and you do that as a driver as well. So for me, coming into this year, my been really up and down and not really found that smooth run of a couple of rounds. And I think you can really see that in my performance hurt a bit throughout this year. So,
yep.
And I think when you see someone at Brock where he just went out there, did the best job that we've seen out of anyone in that top 10, and he did it by a fair margin, it's called confidence. Yeah. That's the best way I can sum it up.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of confidence in his car. And Chaz, your lap is very indicative of the other 8 drivers that got beaten by Brock. It looks to me like you're all working that little bit harder at the wheel. So straight away coming down the straight, I can tell you, you were not travelling as fast as Brock in a straight line. He was just on the throttle a little earlier and smoother. He was not working as hard on his wheel coming on the straight. So that hurt straight away because you can feel that little waggle and Anyway, let's have a look. So here we start the lap. Tell us about into turn 1 because you weren't giving away buckets anywhere.
Yeah, for me, obviously, I'm the pioneer in this top 10, so...
Very wide here, but coming back for your apex?
I'm the first guy, yeah, so I didn't know how much grip the track had. I really had a crack there. I found a little friend down there at 1, unfortunately.
Nice shot.
But the car felt really good, and this is the best of the cars felt for me all weekend. So for me, see, I just clipped the inside curb there. I've just pulled the entries in a little bit short. After yesterday, I had real bad instability in the car, and today the guys are giving me a much better car.
Nice there, I just saw that. So you run it up. Let's see if we can just go back there a little bit. I thought that was pretty cool. I heard Scafey talking yesterday. I mean, sometimes you can run your inside wheels up on the curb to give the outside wheels a little more bite. Is that what we're seeing you do here, Chaz?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've done this for years and years, so I really love the hairpin. My car actually works really well there. It's more of a quite pointy in that point of the track for whatever reason, but yeah, I can sometimes hook it, sometimes I can't. It's just a real bit of a guess in these cars.
And you second in gear out of here in qualifying? Do you have a pluck first?
Nah, first kind of just kills the flow speed a little bit too much. You take too much pace on the way in.
Second gear, third gear. Nice flow through here. Nice flow through here.
Yep, just a bit too slow again. See just that little bit of pause in the middle there? And then that hurts your run from 7 all the way to 10. And I'm sure you got some data there that you'll show how far off I am, but...
Well, it's not just you, Chaz. I pointed out early, this part of the circuit, as you know, through 7, all the way this next circuit, Brock stood in here yesterday and he said he knows that's his strong point. And I can tell you, looking at the data, that is his strong point.
Yep.
Really, really
important. If you go back a bit more, keep going, 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 keep going. See, that's a little bit of steering angle here. This is why you have to turn in early when you're missing a bit of balance.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to use these curbs as a bit of a balance shift. So when you're having to drive the car like that to create a balance shift, hitting some curbs, you're actually then just ruining some flow speed of the car. So just got that bit of push in the mid, so I have to dictate hitting the curb just to get the rear around. Unfortunately, I'm down probably 3 or 4K of what it is on the other cars, and you carry that 3 or 4K all the way down to 10.
All the way down to 10. You're dead right, mate. So anyway, down you go. Just talk to everyone about one of the really quirky things about this circuit, mate. I don't know if we'll get the picture here. I hope we do. Is the placement of the car down into here. I mean, everyone puts in a subtly different position. What do you do there?
Same thing. Try to go really wide coming into 10. But what you probably don't realise if you look here, this is actually in this 10-11 sequence. So we call this 2 corners, but we call in these type of style all 1 corner. It's 1 arc. But I don't know if you've had a walk around. The camber in the road is at its most here. So this is the most grip you're going to have. Then it flattens off in the middle, and you see all these cars get a lot of push.
Yeah.
And it barely comes back for this second bit. So you've got all this confidence to flow this speed here, and then light switch right here, it disappears. So you've got to really choose your right line so much.
What's really interesting is you come down here, Chaz, we saw that moment with Payne, right, in the shootout where he had a bobble down here. Everyone is 100% throttle just after here, down over. Payne had to jump out of it. But what's interesting, at the point that you all get to 100% throttle here, no one's at the same point because of the reasons you just said. A little bit early, run a little bit wide, whatever it is, and those couple of metres make a difference.
And it's so hard as a driver because whatever happens right here, and we're pushing the limits so hard of these tyres and cars, it could be the difference between a whole half a metre on the exit. You just do not know where you're going to end up.
Yep.
And most of the time you end up under driving it, but when you're in top 10, you overdrive it, and that's why you see a few of those guys hitting that curb on the exit.
And then finally, you know, we often talk about the most important corner on a circuit is the one that runs onto the longest straight, right? And again, indicative of the other drivers, it's so subtle, mate, isn't it? But you just didn't quite get the throttle. We're only talking a couple of metres, and your wheel work was a little more than Brock's, and that just gave him an advantage all the way down to the finish line.
So I actually had a 6.7 in the dash as my predicted.
Yep.
And I was actually 2/10 up here. But for whatever reason, even though I actually got a better run than this 6.7 it's in my dash, I lost a 10th in the straight line.
Yeah.
I don't know if a gust of wind came or inlet temperature on the engine or something. Really weird for us. So something we need to look into before the race. So I actually had a better run than the time in my dash, but lost time. Even to start my lap, to finish lap, something weird happened there.
Did you go and check if there's a seagull or a pelican or something in your grill?
Normally you would find it in the inlet, but I know the headlight copped it a little bit, so yeah.
Yeah, poor old
Sorry,
Copper, you know,
Plumber.
he loves his nature, mate. He's pulling his hair out over that one. Hey, thanks, man. That is such a cool insight to understand. It's micro close, isn't it? They're just little margins. Just quickly tell me about the race, though. How do you feel about that race car, a qualifying car to now put into the race?
That today, for me, the car is a 10 times better car than I had yesterday. So even though I've still got some things that I'm not completely happy about and we didn't really fix that mid-corner balance, we fixed a lot of our entry problems in the car today. So I'm hopeful. I'm not starting 22nd, which I'll take that any day. I'll take a 9th or a 10th over starting 22nd. And we've got 2 pit stops today, so we'll shake and bake and we'll let the boys in the lane do their thing, and hopefully some of our boffins behind the computers can come do some smarter stuff than the other boffins in the other garages.
There you have it. So if you're a Chaz Mostert fan, and I'm one of them, we might see something good this afternoon. Best of luck, pal.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.